just like how you want them to get attention if there's a case of emergency. If you are in the role of providing assistance and attention in the case of emergency, do that. Stop sending people everywhere. That's why I don't like the stations the police force now for. Because a person will go to Elizabeth Estates Police Station and they live in East Street. And they'll say, oh no, you live where you live in East Street. You gotta go to East Street to make your complaint. No, sir. You come to Elizabeth. The officer on the desk takes that complaint, whether you on Elizabeth, whether you from Acklands, whether you from San Salvador, wherever the hell you from, that complaint is taken, it is entered into the system, and people see it, and they can address it. Send it to the station where it's supposed to go. You mean to tell me in the 21st century we so backward and ridiculous that our station is not a one-stop shop where people could go and report any complaint? But then again, we still have people from the Family Islands traveling to Nassau to report police officers through complaints and corruptions when there should be a complaints and corruptions officer on every island taking complaints who's properly monitored to ensure that those complaints are investigated and addressed properly. Everyone! There should be an officer on every island who has that role. Complaints against officers should be taken and documented thoroughly. We ain't doing that. Because instead of things advancing, we're going backward. No wonder in the medical profession, a woman could have an issue where her child is crippled by a doctor. And when it's time for an investigation, the file goes missing because we have such severe incompetence in our systems. We need to address it. It needs to be addressed. Then we had another situation this morning where Gerard Brown got in a traffic accident, his vehicle overturned coming into Deep Creek. And yeah, he was speeding. He was speeding like hell. And yeah, his sister riled me because she said I shouldn't have called the police. Even though the nurse told me to call the police. And even if the nurse didn't tell me to call the police, I was still calling the police. Because you don't know how these situations can develop. And so you call the police as a precaution. The police officers can work with you, as they did again with Brown. But you know what? These people on these roads in these vehicles ought to be dealt with because they're going to cost lives. And you can't tell me somebody, well, they see the police that gave him a break. No. They falling apart, their vehicle ain't licensed, they are not meeting the requirements of the road. Address them and deal with them. Especially where it could be a matter of life and death. These things are really happening. And so you have to be careful and cautious. It is what it is. Thank God Gerard Brown is okay. Now we still need the phones on. Whether it's at the Roxanne police station, whether it's at the Wims's Bite clinic, whether it's at the Roxanne clinic. And they need to have this emergency cell phone line. And we need to have public notices about these emergency crises so people can know how to address these situations when there is an emergency. Because last night could have been a disaster. Thank God it wasn't.